Stop the cap.
I'm a little triggered right now, and I was getting ready to head to the gym. And right now, as you can hear, I haven't even left yet because I've decided to make this video before I go to the gym. Hopefully, I don't make it too long because it's going to cut into my gym time. But anyway, I was listening to FD Signifier. He's got a video about Jada Pinkett, and because, she's coming out with her new memoir. We all know how messy Jada is, and it's like, bitch, just stop talking. Stop talking. And I'm going to tell you why Jada catches all the smoke. There's multiple reasons, but I'm going to mainly focus on, I think, about two of them. But there's reasons why Jada catches all of the smoke. Now, listening to FD Signifier triggers me. There's a lot of maggotry with an F in his videos. The vibe of it, the beta maleness of it, the sort of behavior where he espouses all these talking points that black women sit there and they co-sign, or he validates their opinions, but the black women don't want no nigga like that. I don't even know why black women play in black men's faces like that. They don't want niggas like that. And what pisses me off about FD Signifier is FD Signifier comes off to me as a man who got married in a role reverse situation because his wife was making more money than he was making. And so he co-signed all this, ultra progressive leftist shit that you get from academia and universities in his head, right? That it was okay. And now he's making money on YouTube. And now, his wife, is basically able to not work. And now he's in the quote unquote patriarchal position, but he's not going to own that. He's going to say, no, it's the same bullshit that it was when he first got married. And I guess he can't flex, at this point, because again, that's not what he originally signed up for. When she was, carrying the majority of the weight, when they got together. Now, granted, I'm only speculating, but again, I know the artistic types, okay? They struggle for a very long time. I don't think that that's anything new. They're not, I know what teachers make, because I believe he was an educator. I know what teachers make. Teachers don't make no shmoney. Okay? They barely scraping by in most situations. And I do think that that's something that needs to change. But what pisses me off, it's like he acts like he speaks for, like he puts the manosphere in a particular category, right? Like they're like the manosphere doesn't represent the majority of black men or men in general. And somehow FD Signifier is this messiah that has come down, and he speaks for all black men, and he speaks on our unconscious mind, right? And the women, they come through and they eat it up. And I'm not going to say that he has no valid points at all. That he doesn't bring up, look at it from an intellectual point, and even an emotional point, when it comes to, things like, childhood traumas and how that may affect you as an adult and how you may be reacting a certain way, right? But we all know that, like, the black community is broken, right? We know that the vast majority of black people, with the vast majority of black households being single mothers, right? And black people disproportionately being poor relative to other groups in America. There's a lot of dysfunction, alcoholism, child abuse, domestic violence, abandonment issues, all these, emotional, verbal abuse, right? All of these, things that exist in the black community, for both genders, right? We've seen the videos of, usually it's always, black men bad, and everything is about the black man being evil. But again, as Jordan Peterson, once, put it, women have their own ways of being aggressive, where they use, character assassination, innuendo, and other forms of manipulation. And there's been, hasn't been a whole bunch, but there's been a number of women who have come forward and talk about, online, talking about the abuses at the hands, of their mothers, and some of the things that their mothers would do, attacking their beauty, their mothers being jealous of them, their mothers competing with them. Hell, even Karazin didn't have the best relationship with her mother, right? As much as she came online, to quote unquote blackmail bash, right? But I have a major issues with FD Signifier, and it's a combination of FD Signifier's message and the way that you have these black women that come through. I don't know whether they're divestors. I don't know whether they're just, just looking for a way to validate their own beliefs on the idea that black men have these, internalized issues, right? Which completely contradicts the type of behavior that they want to see from black men. Like when it comes to this, when it comes to the whole situation, with Jada Pinkett, right? So FD Signifier goes up there and says Will Smith has traumas because his daddy, was abusive, and he went engaged into all this comedic relief in order to overcome the traumas that he was faced in the home. And he was trying to make Jada Pinkett, something that she was not, which is trying to make her, a wife, right? And Jada didn't want to be that because Jada was on some, we would call it feminist shit. Jada was on some, and even speaking with Captain Solo, he admits that his generation was really the first generation. Gen X was the first generation that was really on some fuck marriage type of shit. And all those people, they're in their early 50s now. And he's like, yeah, we were on some fuck marriage. We were on some, like, maybe there's an alternative. Maybe there's some other way to do the shit. Now, I think that when it comes to Will Smith and him trying to marry Jada, nah, he married the wrong one. And plus, Will is, I don't know what the reasons why he left his first wife, why they got a divorce. But I'm saying Will was married before. Again, I don't know the details of why they divorced. When Will and Jada got married, I mean, Will was at the top of his game, and, Jada, was a lot of black men's fantasies, or fantasy. So I'm saying we talk about this now when it comes to not marrying black women. We talk about this now when it comes to the behavior of black women. Jada Pinkett does reflect the persona of a lot of the behaviors that black men see in black women, especially if these ideas that Jada Pinkett, because when Jada Pinkett was up there, she's living her truth, all these black women were co-signing. Dark-skinned black women were co-signing. Okay, they identified with the fuckery and the bullshit that she was doing. But see, because she kept doing it, because it was excessive, okay, a lot of black women have backed off and backed away from Jada because it was excessive. Like, hey, chick, like, come on, you posting, videos and pictures and oh, it's Tupac's birthday today, and you gotta honor this nigga. We seen you honor a nigga that you weren't even married to more than you've honored your own husband. And even when you have honored your own husband, it's real half-ass, passive aggressive. See, the thing is like Will hasn't said anything. He hasn't said anything. In the book, he acknowledged that, that he wasn't the greatest father, and that he wasn't around because he was too busy making money and producing Hollywood films like I Am Legend for his family so that they can live the life that they want to live and pursue the things that they want to pursue, as we've seen with, his daughter and her band and Jaden, and even, bringing him into Hollywood. And then he goes, he's an actor. He's an actor. He's a rapper. He's like, I don't know, like a quasi singer. I like that song where that he's like in Japan and he's like Super Saiyan. I'm a Super Saiyan, right? I think that song is fire. But he's on some weird shit. He's into the bussy too. He's on that too. Which, again, that anything goes, maybe Jaden wouldn't be like that if his father was there. Who knows? Who knows what the influence of masculinity has to do with, homosexuality? Who knows? Who knows? Or bisexuality or non-conforming binary transformer, whatever, right? The alphabet gang shit. Who knows? But Will acknowledges that. And here's the part that pisses me off, like with the like what FD signifier is saying and how black women are co-signing this shit. What pisses me off is here you have a black man that, like many black people, went through childhood trauma. Okay, we haven't heard anything about Will Smith putting hands on Jada. We haven't heard anything about Will Smith cursing out Jada. Like, it doesn't come off like it's in his character. He's done a fairly good job, with the exception of slapping Chris Rock, of protecting his identity. But I think to a degree, you know what I mean? Some people wanted to know whether that was even in Will. Not that that was being asked of Will. But it's like, nigga, the anger got to be in there somewhere. You just can't be walking around just numb to the shit that, that your wife is doing and what people are saying on the internet and the affair that your wife had with another dude. Like there's a reason why you're going to be angry about that shit. That's a normal reaction. You know what I mean? And he just up there keeping it bottled up, right? And here's the funny part. Like, from the black community, like, black women act like you're supposed to do that and not do that at the same time, right? And I'm saying, whether you want to say Will bottled it up, whether you want to say Will channeled it into other avenues, other directions, ignored it, downplayed it. I hate that Will Smith laugh, like that laugh that he had with Oprah when Oprah was questioning him, and he I hate that laugh. That's such a fake. It's such a fake laugh. It's like, nigga, we don't believe you. We know that you hurting inside. Bullshit. Like a little white kid in the back of the vehicle. Bullshit. That's how I felt when I saw the shit. But what pisses me off about black women is, here you, as much as black women online bitching and wailing, black men don't want to marry us. They start going crazy. Here you got Will Smith, who, FD signifier says he tried to put her in a box, put her in the gender box of being a wife, right? And I think he just chose the wrong woman. But by the same token, you got black women that are bitching about the fact that black men won't marry them. Black men aren't serious. Black men aren't trying to create and build, a family with black women like other races of men, like white men with white women, Asian men with Asian women, so on and so forth. This idea that we don't even fucking try. Like, as though that we can't see the women that are like Jada. But see, it's never the women's fault. If I identify, right, Will shouldn't have married Jada, but if I identify that a bitch is like Jada and stay the fuck away, I become a black man who doesn't want to marry a black woman because of self-hate and colorism and some other bullshit. As opposed to it being acknowledged, nah, that chick is fucked up, you need to leave her alone. And not only that, black women want to pretend like there isn't a wave of black women that are just like Jada and have Jada's mentality. When you have women who come online and basically make the same talk, that's why they're co-signing freaking FD signifier. They're making the same talking points as FD signifier. We don't need to have traditional marriage. We don't need to have these structures. We don't have any of this and this, that, and the third. The next thing you know, they're turning around talking about, I want a family, I want a baby, I want to feel touch, I want to feel loved, and everything else like that. Like, nah, bitch, fuck you. You don't get married on your terms. And see, that's the whole problem with the whole situation, because it's all about what black women want and it's not about what black men want. And again, even when black men try to go out there and do what was Will supposed to do? Granted, I could argue he chose the wrong woman because she didn't want to play that, you know what I mean? And he thought, we could fight through it or whatever. And over time, she just, felt some type of way, like many of the black feminists do online. because you can't fit a fucking a square peg into a smaller round hole. It's not going to fit. But Will tried. And this is what pisses us off as black men. See, you don't get any praise or accolades when you try with a black woman. Okay? Nobody looks at you and says, well, he tried. Okay? Black women will be bitching when they're single. They'll be like, no, you black men, you gotta try. You all are giving up on the black woman in the community. Abandonment. Yes, we have problems, but we could work it out. And usually this is right around the time, that they start freaking out when they're pre-wall, like on some Ebony K. Williams and shit, like they done hit the wall. Usually that's about the time that they wanna try, they wanna work it. Oh, we know maybe we can make it happen. I'm not saying that Jada was saying that, but I'm saying, this is what black women will say, right? But then when a nigga tries and he gets with the woman and it doesn't work out, then it turns into, oh, well, nigga, you should have known better. You should have known better, nigga. I mean, shit, I knew that bitch wasn't the one from 50 yards away. I mean, come on, nigga. I mean, shit, that's on you, nigga. That's on you. But see, when we don't fuck with these women and we go and we recognize these women ain't it, and we go off and either have peace of mind or go over the fence and get with women that are acclimated to quote unquote patriarchy, which is what the type of marriage that many of us want to have, then y'all get upset. Then y'all be bitching and screaming colorism and self-hatred and all this other shit. That's the problem that I have, with this whole situation. And you got FD Signifier up there preaching the shit, and then black women sitting there and co-signing the shit. This nigga does not speak for us. Talk about if I had a Mount Rushmore, it would be Muhammad Ali, Barack Obama, Deion Sanders, and Will Smith. Like, nigga, when did we take a vote on this shit, nigga? Like what group of black men agreed to that? You know what I'm saying? The only one that I would leave up there would probably be Deion Sanders, because he was the image of that a lot of black men, wanted to pursue and wanted to follow. You know what I mean? And Barack Obama, you know what I mean? Barack Obama got too much shit going on, and we already know that even the black men that represent themselves like Barack Obama, it's not valued in the community. You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali, we like Muhammad Ali's militant streak. I'll co-sign Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? But to put Will Smith up there, no, Will Smith had a squeaky clean image for white society. Like Chris Brown had a squeaky clean image when he was doing Wrigley's commercials before he put hands on Rihanna. And then Chris Brown was like, well, fuck it then. You know what I'm saying? I might as well be the bad boy that you want me to be. But to sit there and just if we had a black Mount Rushmore and these would be the four individuals, like, nigga, who did you consult? Who did you consult, my nigga? You know what I mean? But anyway, then what else? And this is really like the meat and the potatoes of this video when it comes to the reason why Jada is catching so much smoke is because Jada demonstrates that she has no respect for Will and no respect for her marriage. Marriage, even though black people, have all different type of views of marriage, and we have all these different factions and shit like that, and I would argue that a lot of those factions are largely black women. But when it comes to marriage, a lot of us do think that marriage should be a sacred cow. Okay, it's just something that you don't. It's like I'm an atheist. I don't believe in all this white Jesus bullshit. And some people would argue I'm a deist, because to me, being a deist and an atheist are the same thing. This God does not go around interacting and moving shit in the world like a goddamn chess piece. The universe was created and that's it. Okay, but I'm saying, I recognize, what the church does for people. I don't agree with it. I think it puts people to sleep as it pertains to, being able to focus on the realities. But, when it comes to, giving people hope, comfort, and inspiration, that's what the church does. And just because I don't believe doesn't mean I would advocate for the burning down of a church or the destruction of a church. Okay. And so when it comes to Jada and how she's just pissing and desecrating, all over, the not even just her marriage, but the concept of marriage is why Jada is getting on it. Will is not up there pissing on his marriage. He's not desecrating it. Again, I, the atheist, am not walking into black churches, kicking over the freaking the pulpit and pissing in it, okay, or pissing like just going up there and where they got the Jesus statue. I'm just over there pissing on it, okay. But that is what Jada is doing, and Jada is the one that continues to do it. And I do agree with FD Signifier at the end of his video. He said that people are mad because Will protects Jada more than Jada protects Will. Yeah, that too. I'll throw that one in there too. You know what I mean? But no, it's the disrespect to the institution. Because what people want to see, it's like what is being promoted. First, their whole marriage, the image of it was a lie. So everybody's feeling some type of way about that. Then the second part is the fact that now what is being promoted is the dysfunction of marriage. Their dysfunctional marriage. Many of us would rather than see them just get a divorce. Okay, we not just for their own personal well-being, but also to protect the sanctity of marriage. Marriage is supposed to be of two people who actually want to be together and want to make it work. That's what we want to see. Okay, and as long as Will and Jada are in the spotlight, so is their dysfunctional marriage. And marriage is so fragile in the black community. The last thing we need are negative images of marriage up there between a black man and a black woman. Okay, it's one thing. I mean, this goes back to one of the points that Captain Solo used to love to make back in the day. About he brought it up with light-skinned dudes, and he brought it up with absentee fathers, and why a lot of single mothers catch hell because a man not being there. Yeah, is there a problem with a father not being in the home? Absolutely, there's a problem because you don't have that balance between the masculine and the feminine, and what a child gets from a father versus what they get from a mother, right? But one of the points that Captain Solo has always made, about situations like that, is it's bad when you're not there because you're not represented, but it's actually good when you're not there in a way because you can't be negatively represented because you're not there to be represented. Again, I'll paint a clearer picture. It's like light-skinned dudes. You know what I mean? When it comes to black men, hypermasculinity all through the 90s and into the 2000s, right? Hypermasculinity, mandingo, all this other shit. But notice who's the face of the down low brother. It ain't light-skinned dudes. Light-skinned dudes, it'll be argued that they're sensitive, they're gay, and everything else like that. But light-skinned dudes tend not to be the down low brother, the brother that you think is straight, but then he's really gay, right? Light-skinned dudes tend not to be that. So when black men get misrepresented and they got two dark-skinned niggas on camera kissing and shit like that, right? Light-skinned dudes are like, ain't got nothing to do with us. See, that's the beauty of not being there, right? It's like, hey, we ain't got nothing to do with that. We weren't up there. We're not. Yeah, we may not be represented. We may not be in the spotlight. But the beauty about not being in the spotlight is you can't be misrepresented. Now, people could try to make lies about you and everything else, but the impact of your image being up there and being tarnished in real time while it's up there, that's not there. That's not the situation. You see, and so, when it comes to Will and Jada and their marriage, we see Jada up there. We don't see Will up there tarnishing, the relationship. And again, if you're gonna represent marriage, we want to see functional relationships, not dysfunctional relationships. Why are they in the spotlight? All the black couples out here in the world, they got healthy relationships, and I will put some of that responsibility on us as black people because like FD Signifier said at the beginning of the video, and this is one of the things I do agree with, uh, uh, black people gravitate towards negativity. We want to hear about Jada. We want to know about Jada. All these gossiping people, which, again, side-eyeing black women, because I just want Jada and Will to go away. Will is already like away. We don't hear about Will. We don't see Will. Will ain't speaking yet. He wrote the book, but the book basically said that, he really wasn't as great of a father as he could have been, and because he was always traveling and he was on the road. These are acknowledgments of where he failed. We have not seen the same level of accountability coming from Jada. You know what I mean? Like we just haven't seen it. We haven't seen that, I shouldn't have got married. We went down this path and I'm on some other shit, and that's what it is. And take ownership of it. It would be more beneficial to black women if Jada actually took ownership of it, because then it wouldn't be seen as so much of a black woman thing. But instead, black women sit around and they co-sign the shit. Then when the shit, spills onto them, then they want to find different ways to do. Oh, well, Jada's light skin. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Even though we co-sign the mentality and ideology and we recognize her as a part of black female culture. See, so they try to find the damn ejection pod, or they try to find the escape pod, and try to escape all this. I'm like, nah, bullshit. But it always kills me every time I see black women do this, where a black man honestly and genuinely tries. He tries. And then now y'all trying to turn it into, oh, well, he was trying to put Jada in a box, and he was trying to make Jada something that she's not. So it's his fault because he subscribed to patriarchy. 5 minutes later, black women, we're going over the fence and we're divesting and we're getting with white men because white men actually want to build families and start a traditional household. And white men want to, I'm like, really? You were just saying about, what were you saying about Will Smith 5 minutes ago? And this only further exacerbates black men, in their mind saying, nah, I'm good, yo. I'm good. These bitches are out of their mind. There's no fucking consistency. They're just trying to find a way to be blameless in all of this, when it comes to, certain behaviors that, at this point, they have become cultural. These are cultural issues. You know what I'm saying? Like other women are not sitting around. You see a whole bunch of Asian women co-signing Jenny Mai? I don't. You know what I'm saying? Who's a white woman that's just off doing some wild shit? I don't know, fucking Madonna. Who's some white woman doing small shit? But I'm saying you don't see white women out there co-signing some white woman exhibiting, bad behavior. You know what I mean? Or dissolving her marriage. You don't see them out there publicly co-signing it, but you see that with black women. Hell, you don't even see them co-signing, other races of women when they got, funky shit going on. Ain't no white women sitting around co-signing Jada. They get up there, they're like, oh, Jada, do tell. Yeah, they'll let Jada go up there and tarnish, black women's image and shit like that. And the next thing you know, there's some tweet, some racist tweet online talking about, and that's why black men are choosing us. And y'all fall for the okie doke every goddamn time. Every goddamn time. And this gaslighting that somehow black men are out of their mind, or it's misogynoir, when we see these things, again, that's why we don't fuck with FD Signifier. I don't know what this nigga's MO is. His shit is so ultra leftist, bussy, LGBTQ, smash the patriarchy. We should just have this anything goes society and all this other shit. And then somehow we're upholding morals and principles and shit like that. Like nigga, get the fuck out of here. Like, completely get the fuck out of here. But as we can see, he's got a huge following. He's got a huge, a group of women that are like, yes, and this is just great, and this is fantastic, and all this other bullshit. And this is why you have things like passport bros and men leaving, women in the West. Birth rates are declining. Marriage rates are declining. Like, y'all got exactly what you wanted. Okay? All of you women on the left, Okay, all of you radical feminists and shit, you got exactly what you wanted. Please leave us heteronormative cisgendered men alone. Leave us the fuck alone and all of our glorious toxic masculinity. Leave us the fuck alone. What we do is none of your business, because the concepts of what we have to offer, you don't even want. So please shut the fuck up when you're over there plus 40, single, you know what I mean? Or possibly a single mom, or you don't have any kids and you're over there doing what Ebony K. Williams is doing, and you're online and you're bitching, and when people come through and they're like, oh, why are black women so single? Then all of a sudden, it's because these niggas and black men and these niggas and nigga. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know, and again, like the whole, that's why I appreciate Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Because if you really listen to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson and you listen to FD Signifier, they're almost the same person. Hell, they damn near look the same, you know, except for a couple of years. But they're almost the same person, but separated by obviously a few decades. But I'm saying, you know, it's like they almost have like the same calm voice when laying out some shit. That's not me. I got to be like, when you hear me calm, I'm literally laying in the bed, looking at the ceiling, making a video. My heart rate is like 60 beats per minute. You know what I mean? My voice drops like 3 octaves. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the only time I'm calm. I gotta be laying on my back in order for me to sound like I'm calm. I'm damn near falling asleep when I'm making a fucking video. But I'm saying they both have that academic or that academic charm. Both of them have it, but they're on two opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to, you know, how they view things. Personally, I would love to see a debate between FD Signifier and Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I think that would be from a purely academic standpoint. I think that would be an excellent back and forth. You know what I mean? And because personally, I feel that many of FD Signifier's, you know, talking points, because there's certain areas, I'll be real, I'm not an expert in, you know, when it comes to certain things. There's certain things that, you know, he talks about. There's certain things I'm familiar with. Like he talked about the cool gay, the cool, what is it? The cool guys, which was a book that was written a long time ago, which is about black men and them trying to uphold masculinity and swagger and all that other shit, right? He mentioned that. I'm familiar with that. But like some of these other, like these other biased books, and this is why even with the manosphere exists because you have all these other people who have the credentials that want to come out and kind of like mansplain. But it's like Renaissance art, right? You know why Renaissance art looked the way that Renaissance art looked? Because it was the wealthy landowners that were the ones that were backing the art. They're the ones that facilitated that style to look like that style because they were the ones paying for it. Make a portrait of me, right? And that's why it looks the way that it does. So there's no free there's no creative freedom. And so anytime you have a university involved, you know, academia and everything, all these people that are sit there and they be like, I have a PhD in sociology. I have a PhD in this. I have a PhD in that. I have a PhD in feminist studies, right? All these people have to be okayed, approved, backed. Their research has to be funded and supported. So it goes through a filter before it even comes out. So then you get the book and everybody's like, oh my God, this is so deep. New York Times bestseller, right? And everybody's clapping and shit, but that ain't the real shit. They ain't telling you the real shit. The only time you're going to get some real shit is when you get somebody who puts out some information, writes a book or whatever, and it's it's wholly independent. That's the only time that you're going to get the real. You're not going to get the real, you know, like when Eldridge Cleaver wrote and I'm sure I think it was published, you know, but I'm saying, you know, The Code on Ice. That book is raw as fuck. You know what I mean? That book is raw as fuck. And I remember, Cap, he got mad about the part where he talked about, when he's fucking a white woman, he's touching freedom. But when he's fucking a black woman, he's touching slavery. Right? Cap was like, yeah, see, self-hate, this is black men, self-hate. And I was like, hold on a minute. I was like, nah, I actually get what he's saying. And I talked about it through the lens of the Second Amendment. It's like, I'm like, it's no different than these white folks that got to walk into Starbucks with a fucking, two AK-47s and a bazooka and an M16. Like, why do you think they do that? Yeah, they're not free. Like, again, the law says the Second Amendment shall not be infringed, and I get to be able to carry guns, right? But yet you'll have states, you'll have companies that'll put these restrictions up and everything else like that. And what they're doing is they're demonstrating to you that you can't restrict me. I am free. And Eldridge Cleaver, his whole point, same thing. I'm not a free black man until I can date a white woman and have nobody say shit to me. Until the police stop harassing me and the Klan stops fucking with me. See, I'm not free. See, if I can't do that, and if I do that, it's a problem that has consequences and punishment. Well, then clearly I'm not free. And truth be told, if you really look at it, that's an extremely valid point. I know that the women that are focused on colorism and self-hate, right? We could argue that is there self-hate baked in there? Yeah, most likely so. But you can't ignore the validity of the point. The point is, I'm not free until I can freely move about and it not be an issue. And he even mentions that in the book about going somewhere in a park and going to picnic and again, the cops not fucking harassing him. When he's on a date with a white woman, he's like, I'm not free until basically I can go out here and fuck white bitches. So he could have said it a better way than that. He could have gave it some clarity, but he was who he was. And yes, I know that he was a rapist and all this other shit and was convicted and all that other crap. I get all that, Who was he married to? He was married to, was he married to, was he married to Angela Davis? Who was he married to? Who was the woman that he was married to? Light-skinned chick with the afro and all that other shit. I forget who he was married to. Anyway, let me look that up. I always forget who he was married to. Eldridge Cleaver's wife. And people like FD Signifier, they love Kathleen Cleaver. Yeah, Kathleen Cleaver. I don't know why I said Angela Davis. I guess, whatever, two light-skinned women. But I'm saying people like FD Signifier, they love people like Eldridge Cleaver because they love to use people like Eldridge Cleaver to discredit, any talking point a black man makes if he uses Eldridge Cleaver. Again, these are these sort of academic tactics. You're over here quoting, a rapist, which is the funny thing is that's the same thing that the left does to, the right does to the left. You're over here quoting a Marxist. You know what I mean? Like, you hear all this shit when they talk about, Black Lives Matter was started by a white Marxist. They start going into all that, shit, as opposed to, whatever, listening to the actual point. Why this man puts a sheet over his car. He puts a sheet over his car, and then he's taking the sheet off. I'm like, didn't you just park the shit? Now you putting sheets over your car? Like, he really want to keep his shit. He really want to keep his shit clean. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's obsessed. He's as obsessed with his shit. Anyway, but that's all I gotta say. I mean, it just FD Signifier doesn't speak for us. And y'all who keep going over there and be like, oh my God, this black man and he's the anti-manosphere. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And then the crazy part is many of y'all want to be with men. You want to be with masculine men. You want to, even going into what I hate is where women come through and they try to talk about all the behavior that they want to see exhibited in black men, the type of black men that they want black men to be. But that's not what y'all out here choosing. That's not who y'all out here having babies by. You know what I mean? And y'all need to be called out on that shit. But everybody wants to act like, oh no, see, the problem is black women are just, they're the victims, and black men, just out here and they're just so horrible because, girls are sugar and spice and everything nice, and boys are, what is it, snails and puppy dog tails or some shit like that, right? I was like, really? But that's literally the world that we live in, and we're tired of it. You know what I mean? You're not going to shame us into being into relationships with you so that we can sell our manhood at a discount and then operate and function in a relationship on your terms, just so that when, shit falls apart, all you're going to do is jump up and then say that there's something that the black man didn't do because, we're not functioning or operating like other races of men. It's hilarious, the jump back and forth, that goes on, when it comes to black women in these conversations, right? Where black men are you all are imitation white men. You all are just trying to be like the white man, and this is patriarchy and misogynoir. When it comes to them white responsibilities, though, then all of a sudden, white men become the template. Other patriarchal communities become the template. We need to be more like them. We need to act more like them. We don't qualify for leadership unless we're doing what they're doing, and unless we're building and maintaining like how they're doing it, right? Even though I'm like, I thought you were all about this equality, and I thought you were all about all this gender bussyism and all this. I thought you were all about that. I thought it was going to be, this 50-50 and we're going to have this balanced dynamic going on. And no, it's not that. It's never going to be that. They try to get you to co-sign, conduct and a behavior that, again, everything's good until it's not. It's all sweet in the game until it's not. And then they will very swiftly, even James Sexton said this shit, about the women that were they go out here, they get with an artisan, and then when it's divorce time and it's like, no, you make $250, he makes $50,000. You got to pay him alimony. And then all of a sudden, and they start switching up real quick, and now they're the most traditional woman in the world. He's got a strong back. He can work. He's a man. Why should I have to pay him? Again, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And FD Signifier, he loves to leave all that shit out of all of his content. He loves to leave that shit out. And sit there and look when a black woman doesn't get what she wants, actually look her in the face and be like, well, this is what you agreed to. This is what you signed up for. This is what you get. No, instead it turns into some pathology about black men and how black men are misogynistic and it's misogynoir. Let's make up words and terms. Anyway, man. Show y'all support if y'all feel me. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.